Good afternoon, Rangeview community and families and students and carers out there. Welcome to our second live stream. This is our next update ahead of the grade 3s to 6s returning back to school next Tuesday. First, I just wanted to thank everyone once again for the way in which they have managed this process with our foundation to grade 2ers returning back to school. Equally so for those that have remained at home, those slight challenges have continued, but I think it's all about perspective. I was speaking to one of my business colleagues in Dublin over the last couple of weeks, and their remote learning will continue through to September, so we have a lot to be grateful for. In terms of, I just wanted to convey to everyone that with this very fluid environment, there is a great deal of anxiety, and where there's an expectation that information should flow down, but there's a reality that we're working with here, and more often than not, we sitting at home listening to breakfast radio or the morning news will pick up on updates before even our principal leadership team and the broader staff will pick up on those updates. And we've had a few Zoom calls where I've conveyed some messages with very blank faces staring back at me, but that's the pace at which it moves. So we are rapidly trying to get that information to you. So I just wanted to thank you very much for your patience. And if that patience can continue over this short period of time, that if we all do the right thing, we'll be in a much better and healthier place going forward. So without any further ado, Liz, I'd like to throw to you to start talking us through what this second phase looks like.
Thank you, Lloyd. And before we go any further, though, I would like to acknowledge the families that have persisted with home learning for that 2-week period. And I'm sure you're looking forward to next Tuesday when our grade 3s to 6s return. So we've sent some information out already through our newsletter. So you may hear things that I've heard this already, or may confirm it, or you may have a child who's already returned to school and it's the older child that may be coming in on Tuesday. So just a little bit of clarity around our students entering our school. So we're asking our students not to come on site until 8:45. There is OSH Club operating, so students that need to use OSH Club, that operates from 7 a.m. in the morning, so there's plenty of opportunity through there. And our students that are senior students, so we class our grades 3s to 6 as our senior students, arriving with younger siblings, can take them to their regular lineup. So if you are feeling comfortable that your older child can bring in their brother or sister and take them to the lineup, they can enter from any gate. So we really want to stress that, because our parents have been very patient through this time. I saw one family this morning I welcomed and they said, oh no, we can't come in this gate. We've got to walk all the way from Chiringa all the way around to Munro Street. They dropped their older child at Chiringa. And that was lovely to see. It was a beautiful day. I'm sure they didn't mind, but thank you, parents. I really want to stress that. That has been one of the things some parents have found a little bit more tricky to work through. Bikes. Now, a number of our senior students ride their bikes to school, and we want to keep that happening. And they've probably been riding even more during this period where they've been at home. We're just asking the bikes not to be ridden in, and definitely not ridden in, most definitely, but walked in until not after 8:45. So the bikes need to be in the bike shed by 8:45. And at the end of the day, we're asking the students with bikes to wait 5 minutes till everyone else has walked through the gateways, that they then leave the bike shed at about 3:35 minutes. So 3:35, so just 5 minutes later. And then it makes it nice and clear for them to come out in a safe way for everyone.
So once again, just that important word around patience.
Thank you. Yeah. We've talked, both assistant principals will talk about different aspects of the students exiting and entering the school. One thing that we don't want to stress too is that older siblings can pick up younger siblings and take them to a designated gate. They can take them to the designated drop-off or pick-up gate, or any other gate that suits your family. All right. It's just, once we have our older students, we know they're more independent and don't need their families to meet them on the site or at the gateway.
So just to re-emphasise once again, Liz, parents and any third parties do not enter the school grounds unless they have prior permission.
Yes, that's most important still. The expectation is no adults can enter the site without permission from the principal, and staff and students are our priority on site. Most of that will be covered in the next part. Probably the staggered breaks, and that's something that some schools have implemented where recess and lunch are at different times. We've been working through that our students will have designated play areas, and I know Kate, the assistant principal, will speak about that in a moment. So that's been planned, and our staff are well aware of the allocated areas for all of our students across the school.
Mhm. And probably just to mention there, Liz, that we've seen an influx of foot traffic around the school as a result, and that's going to more than double by the time we arrive on Tuesday. So just for parents to make sure that we are adhering to social distancing at those pick up and drop off points,
That's
such
very
as Liz
important.
has, just to make sure that that continues on.
It's very important. The social distancing must be practiced by all adults, both staff and parents and visitors to our school. Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you, Liz. Now, I know that in this environment of remote learning, breaks and play breaks have been very important. I actually impromptuly interviewed May and Seb this morning about their final day of school, given the fact that we've got a holiday tomorrow. And they were pleasantly excited, and I probably more so excited for myself and Joe, given the fact that we now get to release them back into the school. But Kate, in terms of playgrounds, how are we going to function in the school?
Well, as the actual students will have designated playgrounds, and that will give them the space, and we've given them all a space that's reasonable in size so that they can all have an area they can really move about when they need to. Our foundation students will be located at the foundation playground and the sandpits, and they'll also have the south side of the south building where they often do play anyway. Our level 1 and 2 students will have the middle corridor between the north and the south building, the yellows, the big playground in the yellows, and the junior soccer pitch. Our level 3 and 4 students will have the biggies playground, the top basketball courts, and the first half of the grass felt courts. They're the blue courts, and that will be the first basketball court closest to the buildings. And closest to the senior hub as well. Our senior 5-6 students will have the second half of the grass felt, that's the blue court that is closest to the oval, the new playground and the oval as well. So they'll have plenty of space to move about.
Yeah. And Kate, in terms of the all-important start and end times and pick-up points?
Okay, so the foundation to level 2 students will continue with the process that we've had for the last 2 weeks. And I'll go through all of those. Our foundation students, the morning arrival time will be 9:10 a.m. and that will be at the Munro Street entrance, just as it has been prior. The pickup time will continue just the same at 3:20 p.m, again at the Munro Street entrance. Our level 5-6s, which will be new for them, we will ask them if they're accompanied by a parent to come through to the Munro Street entrance as well. This will be at 8:50 a.m. and the foundation teachers, not the foundation, the level 5-6 teachers will be located on the blue grass felt waiting for them. If they could arrive at 8:50 a.m. and the pickup time from Munro Street again will be 3:30 p.m. Level 1, the entrance time will be 8:50 a.m, just as it has been, and the pickup time will be 3:25 p.m. Now, the pickup time in the afternoon will be, again, from the Green Mile, as it has been, but we're going to have level 1G and 1BG at the top of the Green Mile, and 1A and 1D at the bottom of the Green Mile, and we're finding that's working a lot better. Level 3 will be going to the Verdale Court entrance. That's the court at the base of the oval. The level 3 teachers will be there and they'll have a 9 o'clock start and a 3:30 p.m. pickup. Our level 4 and our 3-4 class will have a 9 o'clock start. This will be from the Chiringa Avenue entrance and a 3:30 pickup again from Chiringa Avenue. And our level 2s, an 8:50 a.m. start, a 3:25 p.m. pickup, and again from the Chiringa Avenue exit or entrance. And just to reiterate what Liz said, any students that are arriving without a parent and don't need a parent with arrival or pickup can come in or leave from any gate. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Kate. I know there's a lot of information there, so please don't panic. We will provide you with a bit of a wrap up at the end of this live stream. Marika, welcome.
Thank you, Lloyd.
The all-important temperature testing. Can you walk us through our procedures there, please?
Thank you, Lloyd. We obviously do have non-invasive thermometers across the school. We've got them in the classrooms and we've got them in the sick bay. At advice from the Chief Medical Officer, we don't need to be taking children's temperatures every day as they arrive at school, but we will be taking them as necessary. So, yeah, that will continue as necessary.
Now, we've talked about social distancing. So, what does that mean for our students in the classroom?
So similarly to our last live stream, again at Medical Advice, students don't need to socially distance. My understanding is they don't carry the viral load which adults carry, so it's only the adults who need to be social distancing, and that's what we're doing. Please reassure your sons and daughters that their classrooms will look the same. They will be able to sit in their desks, they'll be able to chat to their friends, and they'll be able to play with their friends. So that will remain the same as what they're used to prior to this time.
Great. And the last time around, Marika, we talked about the differences between the bubble taps and taps themselves, or drinking taps and taps. Has anything changed on that front?
No, so just as before, we're not using the bubblers, the drinking fountains. We can't turn those on yet. As soon as we're advised that we are allowed to, we will. We do ask that children come with their own drink bottles. Most students do. Please label these drink bottles because it makes it easier for us to get it back to your child if they forget it in the playground. And we do have taps available for them to fill these drink bottles. So yes, it's not the bubblers just yet.
Great. And the last time we spoke, Marika, there was a fairly comprehensive list around cleaning and hygiene. I was just wondering whether you could just walk us through that once again, just to reinforce those key messages, please.
Of course, I'm rapt that I'm in charge of cleaning. So our cleaning company Spotless has provided us with an additional cleaner. That cleaner operates right throughout the day in what they're calling progressive cleaning. So it happens throughout the day. This is in addition to our normal cleaning. So we have 2 cleaners who come in the afternoon after the children have left. The progressive cleaner looks at the high touch areas. So it's door handles, it's chairs and tables. The student desks are being wiped down every day. It's definitely bathrooms. It's the staff room. It's anywhere that the children eat, although that is largely inside their classrooms. And yes, again, any high touch areas, including high touch areas of the playgrounds, which I would say is all of the playground.
Great. And the Chief Medical Officer, together with the Premier, have been very strong on and emphasising hand washing. What's going to be our procedure going forward with the rest of our school returning, Marika?
We have been doing quite extensive hand washing with our junior students. We have hand soap, obviously, in all of the classrooms as well as sanitizer. So the children are using both of those products. The children wash their hands at the start of the day when they come in, before they eat, before they go out to play, after they come in from play, obviously after the toilet, and just before they go home. So we are doing quite a lot of hand washing here at school.
Great. And now winter is upon us, and the realities are there are going to be a few sniffles around. What do our children do if they are a little bit unwell?
So we are very much aware that it is winter. We're very much aware that children will get slight sniffles, that's going to happen. So we understand that. We're asking that parents keep their children home if they have a persistent cough, if they have a discoloured nasal discharge, or if obviously they have a temperature. We will be sending children home who have any of these 3 symptoms. And yeah, that's just the way that the current climate is.
And speaking of climate, we are in that climate of high anxiety still, Marika, and there's still a great deal of uncertainty that surrounds us moving forward. What if there are some families that are a little bit unsure about sending their children back to school on Tuesday? Are we set up remotely to continue remote learning?
Look, we very much understand that this is a time of high anxiety for children and for families. I'd like to reassure families that we have been so impressed with the junior grades coming back. We have had literally 99% of the children have returned, and they have been very happy and have really enjoyed their return to schooling. We completely understand if there are some families who would like to continue with their children at home, but we are not in a position to both teach face-to-face and to offer remote learning. So if it's your choice to keep your child at home, we do encourage you to contact the school to let us know that this is what you are choosing to do for a short period, but we won't be able to provide remote learning in the same way. This will be different if your child's unwell, obviously. So yeah, that's the situation there.
Great. And the last time we spoke, Marika, we had a call out for tissues. How are we on that particular front?
Thank you for checking.
You're
Lloyd.
welcome.
That's excellent. I do believe we are okay for tissues at this time. However, if any of the senior students would like to bring a box of tissues, I'm getting Mr. Clark, who's my technical assistant, he's nodding. Yes, we would like some senior tissue boxes. That would be fantastic.
Great. Thank you so much.
I think Mrs. Barr just had one more thing to add. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for the preparation for today. It's been really important. We've had technical assistance too with 2 of our teachers that are behind the scene here. But I just wanted to really stress one of the things that's come to our attention is the number of families that are dropping off at set times means there's more traffic in the streets. So parents, can I ask you, where possible, park away from the school and walk. because some people aren't doing the right thing and parking across driveways and making it very difficult for residents in our streets around our schools. So if you can, please park away, walk, bring your child in to the gates, to the gateways. There are teachers there well beyond the pick-up time and drop-off points. So if you're running late, there will be staff to help your child in.
One point I'd want to add, Liz, before you wrapped up, is that given the fluidity of the situation and how quickly information changes, there's no playbook that we're actually turning to create the framework or the structure of the processes for any children that haven't been in Mrs. Barr's office. I'm standing here and there's a whole shelf there of folders about what to do on certain particular fronts, but not on COVID-19. I can't see one there. So once again, please bear with us. We do appreciate the feedback that comes through. Just encourage you that the feedback's constructive. And if there is that feedback, that you also are providing some solutions as well for us to think through, because that certainly gets filtered through to council as well for us to consider in the midterm and long term, which is what council has been doing in the background. So I want to thank all council members as well.
And Lloyd, on to that point too, we've had feedback and we've modified some arrangements as these 2 weeks have gone through to try and ease some of the congestion at different points. Green Mile is a classic one. So we've worked through that and hopefully we've improved that model just a little bit in the last couple of days. So your patience we need. We thank you for the work that you have done, families, through this time, all of term 2. We look forward to seeing, most importantly, our grade 3s to 6 return on Tuesday. And I think the weather's going to be good. So,
and Liz, there's been a lot of information that we've conveyed. I'm sure that not all our parents have been sitting there scribbling notes, but how can we get access to the content?
So this will be the information we have here. We'll add any questions that we receive through the live stream, and then we'll add our questions and answers to this sheet, and it will go out to families as soon as possible. As I've said, some of this information has already gone out to our families in our newsletter this week. So have a look at the newsletter. That will give you some additional information.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Kate.
Lloyd.
Thank you, Marika.
Thank you to the assistant principals, and
Thank you, everyone.
to the teachers helping.